Loading snacks.
Yo, what is good? Loading Snacks Universe. Your boy Jokes is here. I got the homie Marcus, and
Sure.
it is time for another edition of the Finisher Podcast.
Finisher.
Oh man, Marcus, how are we doing tonight, good sir?
Feeling good, feeling great. Happy Veterans Day for all you veterans out there.
It is most certainly. Happy Veterans Day. We are recording. As usual, we got a lot of wrestling to talk about, and the Finisher Podcast is where it all goes down at. Going to be changing up things a little bit in the format of how the show is going to be. But before we get into things, loadingsnacks.com is going to be your place to go and find all of the antics related to the Loading Snacks crew. We got a lot of stuff that we're about to get into over the next few weeks. And the website is going to be your best place to go to find and to keep track of everything that we are going to be doing. Marcus, I thought we'd go ahead and change up the format how we do things a little bit.
Sounds good.
Before we get into like we always have our topics that we'll talk about, I thought it'd be good to go ahead and start talking about a little bit of the news and things that happen right off the break first. Because things happen, and you know what? There's just no two ways they have to be talked about.
Yep.
But I don't always want it to take away from necessarily our topics that we have on here. So I thought we'd break out and do a little news portion of this first. In this news side of things today, really want to focus on we're seeing the wind down of some careers happening right now.
Yep.
And the big two that we're looking at, of course, John Cena in WWE and Hiroshi Tanahashi over in New Japan Pro Wrestling. We kind of see that the same, almost similar kind of a lineup, how we're getting to those final matches is starting to unfold for it. And with like Cena specifically, we're seeing another twist that's actually come into the mix of it. So we're going to get you caught up. If you, for whatever reason, haven't watched Monday Night Raw yet, John Cena ended up challenging Dom Mysterio to an impromptu Intercontinental Championship match. So I don't know about you, Marcus. As soon as that happened, I was like, oh, snap. It is happening right now. Of course, the last episode of Raw was in Boston. It was in Cena's home state, hometown. So originally, it seemed like the plan was that was supposed to be, his final stop on the grand scheme of this tour. But for whatever reason, things shifted and changed. Now it's in DC. I'm still mad we're not going to be going to that. But so as soon as that happened, I was just like, yo, they're pulling the trigger right now. Fast forward to the end of the match. John Cena does take the victory and has now become finally a Grand Slam champion.
First time, last time, Grand Slam champion.
So Cena has now cemented, like, granted, Cena's already cemented himself in the wrestling universe as what he is. But to now be able to add that Grand Slam banner to the wall of his is another one of these accomplishments. So this now puts a twist on the You Can't See Me Now tournament that's been happening. Because originally it was just these different wrestlers were fighting to compete to who was going to be competing in John Cena's last match. Now it's looking like that last match is going to be an Intercontinental Championship match, which takes the stakes up a little bit more. How now? I feel like there's going to be two sides to this, but how do we feel about John Cena finally becoming the Grand Slam champion?
And I like, if you rewind, I was like, the only thing he's missing is the Intercontinental Championship. Like, that's like the one title that has eluded him his entire career. It's like once he became like the guy, like he never really went back to like the Intercontinental belt.
Mm-hmm.
And like now that he has it, he's going to give it the good old U.S. Championship spit rub. And it's like, hey, like this isn't just like a mid card title. Like this is like the title. Like if you have this, like Like you're the guy. Like you need to like show up, show out every chance you have with this title. And I feel as though like this is a good point in his career. Like, okay, winding down.
Hmm.
Last thing, the big thing, never seen 17. Like, get that out the way. Now, plan B, Intercontinental Championship Grand Slam. Like,
Hmm.
I feel like that was in the works, like for a while, as with the 17 time. Like, I feel like that was in the works, but now it's like I feel like they fast forwarded it a little bit because like DC is coming up and he's going to be here,
Hmm.
and that's when like okay, that's it. There's like no official dates left
Yep.
for John Cena appearances.
Yep. Yep. So, hey, listen, this is up the ante for John Cena on this go around, and with that still comes even more behind this. So we've seen it now over the last few weeks, a couple of the matches that have given us people that have advanced in the You Can't See Me Now tournament. So it's looking like potentially we are going to see two returns within this tournament. So it was announced by the GMs of Raw and SmackDown, Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. We're going to have two specific matches in this tournament where LA Knight and Solo Sikoa each are having mystery opponents within this tournament run. Now, on SmackDown, when we got the first one, it was kind of like, oh, snap, here we go. Because we knew the rumor mill had been spinning up that Chris Jericho has signed and has come back to WWE. I still think that is definitely on the horizon. But now we got a second mystery opponent, which is kind of interesting. So it's looking like we're going to get a couple of probably faces that have had, I would say, an impact throughout Cena's career at some point in time. Cena and Jericho definitely have had run-ins along the lines. The second one, though, I'm a little in between on who it actually is. I don't think you would want to make Randy Orton a mystery opponent for one of these two
Yeah, it
two
wouldn't be
dudes.
Randy.
Because like I feel like Cena and Orton have one of the greatest rivalries that has happened over time. Like I don't want to say like, listen, comparing to other rivalries, it's difficult to do. You think like Rock Austin, who had one of those awesome rivalries over time. Cena and Orton was kind of on that level. I don't think we were able to create the same pomp and circumstance behind it, but the two of them had a pretty decent feud. But now it's like, okay, with these two mystery opponents, do we now already know kind of where we going on here? Because now I'm wondering if one, does Dom get a rematch? If so, will I feel like it can't be against Cena. I feel like
It
time
won't
is
be against
just
Cena.
is just not going to allow him to get his rematch versus Cena. So it'll either be after all this is done, or Dom stops whoever from becoming the mystery opponent. I don't know. But this has just made this tournament even more interesting because at one point it was just like, oh, it's just a tournament. Cena loves to be able to get more people out there to show face. Like we know Saturday Night Main Event is going to have a WWE versus NXT vibe, which Cena's very advocate on making sure the up and comers are getting these big opportunities to show face. So I really like that. But yeah, it looks like Cena's final match is going to be even more interesting. Um, I can only imagine. Like, I haven't double checked to see if the show is sold out yet. It's got to be close to it. If not, scalpers have already decimated tickets, probably already. Um, but once we're able to determine who this actual opponent is going to be for it, it's going to make whatever tickets left just probably go right out the window for it. Um, but we're counting down, y'all. It's only three more appearances for Cena. They did show, I don't know if you saw Marcus, uh, the last three shirts for Madison Square Garden, DC, and I forget what the last one was. They showed images of them. So we know they're coming. I'm copping the DC one the day
Oh
those
yeah,
become available.
yeah.
No two ways for it. But yeah, Cena is Intercontinental champion. He is a Grand Slam champion. Another history defining moment for the man, like on his way out. Congratulations to him. Uh Dom, I'm gonna tell you right now, I love your run as Intercontinental champion. I hope you get another opportunity to do that, but I guess for the grand scheme of things, Cena had to take this championship too. Finally, like we knew he wasn't going to get 18. You know, they talked about, hey, maybe he's got that last chance to get to number 18, but I take the Grand Slam over the 18th championship because let's be honest, nobody's probably going to get maybe tie like Randy Orton's close, but we don't know what his clock is looking like. He hasn't talked about retirement or anything like that, but he's probably getting to get to that area as well too. So we'll see how things goes. But
Yep.
now flip flop Hiroshi Tanahashi, who is counting down his final days as an in-ring competitor with New Japan Pro Wrestling. We have now learned that his final opponent will be Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. Um, I think that is probably the most perfect of perfect
Yeah.
scenarios that you could do. Like they have had, I don't know how many Wrestle Kingdom matches the two of them have had versus each other. Uh,
Hey, all fire matches. All fire matches. Like it's gonna be if you haven't watched one of those matches, I strongly recommend go on YouTube, type it in,
mm,
have your popcorn. It's just a good time. It's a
yeah,
great time.
so we're counting down his last days, but his is going to be a Wrestle Kingdom. Like if Wrestle Kingdom, of course, New Japan's biggest event that they put on in the year. Um, and of course, Okada, it's been back and forth. He hasn't been in New Japan because obviously he is signed under AEW and he's been doing his AEW thing. Um, I couldn't imagine who else they would have potentially had as being Tanahashi's final opponent. Um, this is going to be a pretty interesting match. I don't know if any, I doubt there's going to be any extra stipulations or anything in this just being a classic. I don't know. This joint could go 60. I doubt it's going to go 60 minutes. Don't get me wrong. Tanahashi, I don't want to say he's losing the step, but you can tell where on the body thing, like it's physically catching up with him. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was some gimmick type things that end up happening in this match, but I think they're going to have an absolute banger of a match. Um, I'm super, super amped to see how that goes. I'm interested to see if Okada brings his AEW kind of persona over with him, or if it's going to kind of be like, old school Okada that was in New Japan on here. Like, I think at a respect level, I don't see him coming over here just getting the time, bitch. Like, I don't see him
I mean, I can see
doing
him
that.
doing like doing the finger. I can see him doing the finger.
But I don't know. That match is going to be amazing. But we're looking at these two legends, both in their respective brands, um, coming to the end of their careers. And by all means, they both have had stellar careers. Um, Obviously, seen as 17-time champion. Let's be real here. Trying to even compete to get to that type of reign, it's just
Not
insane
going to
to
see something
think.
like that for a long, long time.
Like, and
Especially like
Tanahashi has
our
been around. Yeah.
like the current landscape of the E, we probably won't ever get to that point, and probably the next like 20, heck, even like 30 years. Like, we'll probably
Honestly,
be
yeah.
gone by the time like someone gets close enough to
Hmm.
get there.
I'll agree with that. I think we wouldn't see a multiple title reign like that ever happen again. I do see someone breaking like the Roman Reigns streak of anything and having the championship for a longer period of time. I think that would be the only thing we would probably get close to. Um, but yeah, our lifetime, I don't think we're gonna see it. The closest person is Randy Orton, and he would have to do a lot of gaining and losing championships. He's at four, 14, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not far fetched, but literally he's going to be gaining the championship and losing it almost instantaneously. So if a Money in the Bank type thing presents itself, okay, that's an easy. He wins the championship and loses to someone in Money in the Bank. So cool, whatever. That's an easy one for it. But then within the span of however much longer he potentially has, I don't know if we would end up seeing that piece again for it. But I'm loving how we are treating both of their runs and making it come to a close on here for it. So uh, we had to talk about the two of those before we got anywhere else because um, honestly, it's history on both ends. There won't be another John Cena. There's not going to be another Hiroshi Tanahashi. Like these are just two gentlemen in their respects that have done an amazing job within their respective brands. Um, Tanahashi, of course, is president of New Japan, so we'll still see his face around. Uh,
Yep.
don't know to what extent on what John Cena potentially will do or if he will backstage. Um, I definitely see Cena as the type of one that would want to work still with up and comers. So I don't know if he becomes a performance center type of person or he's just like a guest that comes in from time to time. But I
And he
still
has
expect to
multiple
see
gyms
his.
open. He has
Mhm,
multiple gyms open, so I would expect him to go like that Cody route and just like, all right, have like one main like location, maybe in
mhm,
Boston, wherever, like just open up a his own little wrestling school and have people there to like show the people who want to get into the business, all right, this is how you get into the business.
mhm. I think he could be a great mind, but we'll see. We'll see what the future holds for John Cena outside of the ring for it. Um, and switching gears, I want to talk about something that I saw popped up, and I had to put some stuff down for this because it's a lot. Um, and we've semi have talked about this before, but I think now with the way, and I'm gonna talk specifically, I want it more around the WWE side, just with the way things are being consumed, accessibility to a lot of this stuff now. Um, I think it's a good time to talk about. Do we think it is time for WWE to go away from the current way PLEs are done? And I have a couple scenarios on it. Uh, one thing I was looking at, and someone was like, a lot of people think that it's time that we moved away from the Vince McMahon creations of PLEs, pay per views for where most of them were created. But now it's become since WWE has essentially has a PLE every single month and sometimes double in a couple of months. It feels like the landscape can get overrun. Storylines may not necessarily seem like they're fleshed out like they used to be. I feel like we don't get a lot of the builds on feuds. Sometimes I feel like some feuds only last a couple weeks, which don't get me wrong, I'm not necessarily mad at that aspect of it. I think some feuds probably shouldn't be super long and drawn out. But when you're trying to build to something, we need a little bit more time than the 1 month in between PLE, sometimes 2 to 3 weeks in between. Uh, do you think it's time now for WWE to adjust their PLE strategy?
Uh, I would say like they should definitely modify their PLE uh layout or design. Not saying they have to like get rid of it entirely, but definitely like switch things up. Like, okay, no, you have three brands, technically
Mm-hmm.
four brands if you include the unofficial acquisition of TNA.
Hmm.
So, and like NXT is always going to have their own PLEs and their crossover PLEs between the main two, and then you have your standard calendar year PLEs with the additions of maybe like 4 to 5 that are different from the normal structure. So
Hmm.
I definitely think like they can tone back a couple of the PLEs. I mean, you can keep like the majors like your WrestleManias, your SummerSlam, your Survivor Series,
The big
or in this
four.
case, War Games. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, like you can
The
keep
big
like
four.
the big four. Like Money in the Bank used to be like a match. It never used to be a PLE.
Hmm.
Like they should probably go back to just making it a match.
I agree. I can agree with that. Um, because it's gotten now to where I feel like we've overloaded every single month. Now, don't get me wrong. With the shifts in the way that Triple H has been doing, obviously TKO now being the thing, we've seen how clearly, don't get me wrong, it is a for profit business. So we must make money to continue stuff. But TKO is at the top of everything, is like dollars first before anything. And I think this structure, it's being harder to maintain, especially obviously things have shifted to where PLEs are going to be on ESPN. There are still a few that are still in agreement with Peacock. Like obviously Saturday night's main event is a NBC type thing. One, I don't know if we see that go away after the end of the year. Because as the deal starts to wrap up with Peacock and NBC to where everything is really just going to be between Netflix and ESPN at this point, and we've talked about dollars, like I'm not trying to give ESPN $30 a month for. There was a time like we paid like $50 or $60 for a pay-per-view event almost every single month for WWFE at the time. But it's just $30 a month for ESPN to keep up with your PLE events. You're gonna have to pay Netflix, even at the base tier. I think what is it like $10 or $11 now for it?
Yeah. Not unless you go through your
Um,
service provider to get it like
unless you
for
go through like one of your providers for it. And then SmackDown, obviously being on USA, if you have regular TV at this point, I mean, you can get USA. But you're starting to make it a little more difficult for people to be able to access and get everything. Yes, it's easier to access because it's on streaming services. So I'm not saying that you can't get it and get access to it. But when you start adding up the dollars to be able to get access to watch these on a weekly basis, you start to alienate people out. And I'm sorry, with the landscape of how things are currently right now, people are trying to save money. Uh, just because like certain things, like I don't want to use like the government shutdown and things like that, but like people got to figure out where to cut their losses and stuff at for it.
and like I actually foresee like PLE live events like to like pricing to go up.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
if this current run of John Cena's retirement has shown, everyone is just like we can charge ridiculous amount for these seats
Hmm.
and people are going to buy them. One, because they want to be a part of the experience.
Hmm.
Two, like if you got it, you got it. And I remember an article came out and it was just like, yeah, we're leaving like the Vince era of like we're trying to include families and we're going to the structures. It's like, hey, we're making profit. We're trying to
Hmm.
make profitable business. So we're not we're not for the family. We're for making profit. And I figure if that's what's now going to be the normalcy for PLEs go in the future, and like the average price of like a nosebleed seat is like
Hmm.
$500-$600.
Hmm.
I don't see them. I mean, people are going to go, but it's not going to be how it is now, where it's just like, okay, like if they come back to DC, oh yeah, we'll go. Like it's
Mhm,
$100, like 80, $200 max, maybe like three if you want like a good like in between like middle section seat. Like
mhm,
like you have like the locals, you won't have that local scene
mhm,
as a primary uh increase to those type of sales. It will all be those people coming from out of that city, out of that state, traveling to fill up this venue versus like, oh, like we're going to Boston. All right, everyone who's anybody in Boston is gonna go and come. Like it's not that's not what it's gonna be. It's not gonna be like 90% people from Boston. It's gonna be like a majority like outside mix, and maybe like 5-10% is like from within the city that are filling up these seats.
mhm,
That I don't want. Like
mm,
I don't want like these price increases to scare away like a new fan or someone just getting back into wrestling. Like these types of things are what's bad for the business, because
mm.
like if you go right now, he's like, hey, I'm trying to go see John Cena's last match. It's going to be in X city that I'm in. You try and come? He was like, how much are the tickets? Oh, they're about like $800. They're gonna look at you like, to watch fake wrestling, because people are going to be like, wrestling's fake. We don't
Okay,
say the
yeah.
F word around here, but it's going to be like, yo, if I wanted to watch it, I can just watch a UFC fight or something like that. And I'm just like, look, man, it's about the experience. You have to
Mhm,
justify why it's $800 for a ticket,
mhm.
even when you yourself don't believe it should be $800 for a ticket.
Yeah, and it's like, the experience is one thing, but, like, I will never there's no way to take away from being in that atmosphere amongst everybody, but with the PLEs, like, sometimes, like, I feel like the PLEs just don't have outside of probably, like, obviously, like, SummerSlam and WrestleMania, don't necessarily feel they don't have that pomp and circumstance. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, let's just use right now. We're getting ready to go into Survivor Series War Games. I feel like Survivor Series. Now, like, granted, it's hard to rehash and do things over again, but I feel like Survivor Series just hasn't had the same type of meaning probably in like the last
Yeah.
like I don't want to say like 10 years. I think
No, it's
bringing the
about
war
10 years.
game, I would say the war games aspect is pretty cool. But when you compare it to like obviously like Survivor Series being around to do like the invasion angle where it was like, WCW and ECW versus WWE, like I feel like it doesn't have that same type of payoff because we're not necessarily building up to it. Like we literally last night on Raw, we got the women's war game match pretty much assembled all within 5 minutes of a match ending. Happy Rhea Ripley's back. I'm super amped sights off of that.
Yep.
But it's like we kind of just threw it together. Like it doesn't feel like we've built a reason to have these five women versus these five women to go out. It's the same with the guys too. Like apparently now LA Knight is not going to be in the men's Survivor Series match, which it was looking like it was going to start gearing up to, and Cody is in it, which is it's a little weird because it's like it seems like we're doing like Survivor Series is a cross brand. I use that term loosely, type of PLE, but we brought in Cody to kind of fill in the void when he doesn't necessarily have a full on stake in the match. Like obviously, CM Punk and Jey Uso, they got beef with the Vision. So Heyman and Squad, like I can get that. And now Logan Paul is now a part of the vision, it's it's weird. It's like we literally just did this to throw him into, hey, we got to make sure Seth is out hurt. We got to add some more people into it. Let's now make Logan Paul a part of the vision. I still don't see that sticking by any
Yeah,
means
Survivor
necessary.
Series needs to
And
have like a organic build. Like, okay, you like these group of guys don't like, I'm sorry, these group of individuals don't like these group of individuals. All right, one person de facto leader because they have problems with everyone on the other side. They start recruiting. All right, hey, like I need your help to go against these guys,
mm,
etc., etc., etc. A couple weeks, they're going trying to get people, recruit people. This person can't do it. This person doesn't want to do it. Whatever, whatever. Okay, other side's pretty much already formed because they're the bad guys with the heels. So easier for to just come up with a team there, and then boom, we're not Survivor Series clash, or we we don't like your brand because your brand XYZ, we're the better brand, blah 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 blah, but we're the
mhm,
underdog, etc. etc. So like there are things that you can do, but now we've kind of gotten we've erased that type of formula, and now we're
mhm.
just like, oh, boom. It's just like, all right, we're gonna put these guys against these guys, these people against these people.
Yeah. So I just don't have that same, like, that buildup is just gone. And like right now, I'm not mad at the fact that we're now having CM Punk and Cody Rhodes teaming up together, but it seems like you will want to have each of your brand champions on the opposite
Opposite
side.
ends.
But I guess because Punk and Cody are both faces, we don't necessarily want to have them going versus each other. Because at one point, I thought we were looking at Solo Sokoa gang building up to be a War Games match. But somewhere in the last few weeks, that just kind of got squashed. I don't know. So it's
Yeah, because there was definitely a huge build up earlier on in the year. Like, okay, Solo was recruiting members. He's getting ready for War Games. We're going to have a War Games like tribal chief type thing,
something
and then all of a sudden that just went like,
that just
yeah,
took a back
swerve.
seat. Like that just went
We're
in the
not
back.
doing
And
that
now,
anymore.
so and when I think of that, like I feel like that's where my issue is. And like sometimes I just feel like if I don't see the PLE, I'm not so much missing out on anything. Like I felt there was a point in time I was like, oh yeah, we got to watch this in real time to see what happens because it's really going to mean something. But I'm not getting that. Like right now, Survivor Series, I just don't feel as though it is a true PLE anymore. Like it's just let's just take our best guys, put them on two different teams, and make them fight each other. But then after the match is done, there's no repercussions of these two matches other than obviously someone turning on one of the two teams, and now they got to go through the whole entire thing of why they did that after the match. Like I just feel like okay, Survivor Series is over. Next PLE is in line. Let's now go towards that, and then we just lose everything on there for it. Um, so I think maybe that formula needs to be worked on. Not to mention when we add in all of the big shows abroad now. So going to Saudi Arabia, going to Australia. I know there's some UK things that are potentially starting to pop off. They're trying to do Japan, which I know is going to try to become a thing. And it's like, how do you now work these in? Like, I feel like some of those at this point now needed to be the PLEs that we build towards. But I feel like we've just lost that stride in how these PLEs used to work. And I think that's where a lot of people are getting to like, okay, maybe we do need to go away from like these Vince McMahon created ones. By all means, I don't think we should change WrestleMania. WrestleMania is what it is.
I mean, WrestleMania, I'm sorry, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, those can all stay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Survivor Series can go. I don't think Survivor Series holds up the way that it used to in the past. I think Mania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble. The three of those have the right implications of everything. Obviously, the Royal Rumble is setting us up to get to WrestleMania. We need to get this winner that we know is going to make it to the main event of WrestleMania, but we don't know necessarily who they're going to face because the champion is probably going to have one or two more matches in between. I think those two are perfect. Don't need to change them at all. SummerSlam is the big thing of this, obviously, of the summer. So now we come out of WrestleMania. We got like 4 months leading up to SummerSlam. So we should be building something major to get to it. Obviously, we have small little stepping stones in between. But I feel like those are the only three that truly hold the weight like they used to. Like, I'm happy they did away with the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view
That
because
shouldn't have been a thing.
Hell in a Cell was a unique match that should only happen once in a while as a drastic end to somebody's quarrel with one another. And so we only need to. I don't even need to see it once a year. It doesn't even need to be like that on there for it. Because when we did the
Same thing
PLE
with the
Elimination Chamber, I feel like Elimination Chamber. I feel like at the time was a cool concept, and I think it's another. I don't think it holds the weight the same way. Like, I think it's time that maybe I don't think Elimination Chamber is gonna come back this time. So I think that one could get retired for a while. But I think we need to start to look at things new. Like, and don't get me wrong, there's been some attempts at creating new PLEs that were absolute failures. I don't know who came up with the concept of Great Balls of Fire or whatever that event was. Like, that was just the worst thing I think I ever have come out of WWE. Never do that again. But I think we need to either scale back or we got to make these PLEs make more sense. And by all means, I want people to think that this is me saying that like AEW's got it good. Like, they got to work on some stuff too. Like, I'm not even saying that. Personally, me, I think the company that does very well at putting down, granted, they don't have a weekly show and all this. And so I know it's different. But New Japan, I think New Japan does a much better job in making their events seem like they really and truly mean something. And I think they do a great job at switching up, the people that you see on every single event. Like, one event, we may focus on, the heavyweights, the main championship belts that we have. Some will focus on, the smaller division or the smaller divisions that they have to work in for it. And I think they execute better at that and make you really care about these events that are coming up. Like, when WWE just announces their next PLE that's coming up, sometimes I'm just like, I don't. It's not really. I just feel like it's just a show during the middle of the week, and I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything for it. And that's another reason why I'm like, I don't really want to give you $30 a month, ESPN, to watch said PLEs. So I do think there's got to be some type of change, but by all means, people are paying these astronomical amounts of money to go to all these events. And as long as the people are putting their money where it is, it'll continue in the same structure. But I do think there needs to be some form of a revamp in the way that we do these. When we get to Survivor Series, we'll see how things play out. Because right now, I'm honestly not excited for War Games. Like, William Regal saying War Games and doing, like, I feel like NXT has been better at the War Games aspect than the actual main roster has, because I feel like they've had more implications that actually meant something in NXT than it did on the main brand. So, yeah, I don't know. Survivor Series, to me at this point, I think we can dump it, figure something else out. I feel like maybe 2 months out of the year, maybe we don't have a PLE. We just focus on the Raw, the SmackDown, the NXT, and we try to build up to what the next great thing should be. But I feel like there's some people out there that are getting fatigued with the way the PLE structures actually are. And I'm not saying not to have an event every single month. Like they've scaled back on the house shows, um, which I'm honestly that I'm not upset about because it does give the performers a little more time to rest and be in between
Yep.
big shows. So it's like because we were seeing injuries happen on house shows, and it's like, well, damn,
What are you doing at a
when
house show?
like yes, you still want
I
to have
get
your
it.
big, yeah, you want to have your big competitors, but it's like when you're getting hurt at the house show, and then you oh yeah, we got to pull you off of Raw and SmackDown for the next couple weeks to let you heal up. Like, so I think that was a good play. But yeah, I'm just not I'm not in for some of these pay-per-views. Like Saturday night's main event right now is looking like it's gonna be a better overall event than Survivor Series, potentially. Which I feel like that shouldn't that shouldn't be that way.
Oop.
But it's looking like it's Saturday night's main event is going to be a better event, and it's not even. It's I don't even know if it's
Technically not
considered
a
to be a
PLE.
PLE.
It's not a
It's not.
PLE.
It's not a PLE. So
Technically not a PLE because the history of Saturday Night Main Event was never a pay per view.
oh, it was on regular television that you would see on.
Regular television. It's not a PLE.
So yeah, I
Because of that,
need.
on your local TV, if you have an antenna, if you go to NBC or whatever, I guarantee you'll be seeing Saturday Night Main Event, even if you don't have Peacock,
Yeah,
whatever your NBC channel is.
regular television. So yeah, I need a structure revamp. I need WWE to make me care to watch these PLE events even more to where they're going to actually have an effect on the overall storylines, whatever it may be. Because when you just make a PLE and just throw, oh yeah, we're putting these two wrestlers against each other, and I'm just kind of like, you know what, cool, it'd be cool to see them, but why is this happening? And that's one thing AEW does a lot. It's just like, don't get me wrong, you put two great wrestlers together, let them have a match, and then there's no story, there's no nothing between them. It's just two great competitors in the ring with each other just to have this one match. Which I'm once in a while, I don't think that's so much of a problem. But you got to make me care to give you $30 to watch the PLE. And right now, Survivor Series is not
Ain't it?
making me want to give ESPN $30 to watch it. I'll just wait for the results to pop up and just see them that way.
Or I just
That's
do
at
what
least
Stephanie
how
McMahon said.
that's how I feel.
I just followed the
And
McMahon logic.
so I'm eager to see how things work out by the end of the year. We get into the new year because obviously, dude, we're already we're at the end of the year.
Yep.
It's like this year has gone by super quick. After Saturday night's main event happens in December, dog, the road to WrestleMania. We're literally at that point 4 months.
Officially back on the road to WrestleMania.
We're 4 months out from Mania once again. Like there was a time like WrestleMania seemed like it took forever to come
Forever.
back around, and now it's a flip like that. And
I think it's because that the Royal Rumble used to be in this time frame before it went to like January.
it was yeah, it was normally it was always I thought it was in the beginning of the year because there was always that little bit of time between the Rumble and Mania because we gave the champions enough time to defend them a couple times to see if that would change the card up. potentially go from being a one-on-one match to like a triple threat match because of ramifications that have happened. And then in between there, we'll have some random little thing. After Mania happens, they've did the WrestleMania Backlash. That Backlash used to really be like the revenge pay-per-view. Like it was like, you beat me at this. We gotta run this back. We gotta do like, but it doesn't feel that same way. So I think
Same thing with like Armageddon. Like they retired Armageddon because it
mm,
didn't like mean the same thing anymore.
so. Sometimes I think you know what, Mania happens. We take a month off of PLE to start reestablishing the new landscape before we get into that next one on there. I think there's some ways to be done for it, but right now I don't think the way the PLEs work with WWE work anymore. But they're not going to do anything about it because people are getting the money. They're gonna keep spending it. Um, I personally need something fresh before it gets stale. Like I'm gonna watch wrestling. Like I know I fell out at one point, but I feel like I need a revamp on this to really make me care more for it. So we'll see how things go.
And again, like I'm fine with like the PLEs that are like the overseas PLEs, like your Clash at the
Hmm.
Castle. Like, okay, you've created PLEs for these uh cities and countries that you're going to. Cool. I'm not gonna talk about Saudi because Saudi's Saudi. Uh, but like bring that same energy you do there to your
Damn.
PLEs here. And then
Those
maybe like the fan base that's currently here will change or
it won't. I don't.
you
It
never know.
won't. It could. It's not. Overseas fans are a different beast. Like it upsets me to be a fan over here in the states because I'm overseas fans. Like, and because you know what, I kind of got to give props because of soccer, football, what you would call it in another country. I feel like that has created like the ultimate fan. And, we talk about here in the states, our football fans. uh, Nothing compares to soccer fans in the slightest. And I feel like a lot of those type of cheering, those type of fan, like I feel like that has spilled into the WWE realm when it goes overseas, and it makes it so much of a better experience. But we just don't have that here, unfortunately. But it's time. It's time for a revamp. I think some of the old McMahon ones, I think we are going to have to part ways with and start anew and make us care for them. Like I could keep rambling. I'm a King of the Ring. I thought was one of the greatest
It used to
gimmick
mean
type of
something.
things
It used to
that they
mean
did.
something.
Thought was one of the greatest things. King, and then now I would say Queen of the Ring. Both of those could be an absolute menace to keep around for you win the King and Queen of Champion, and you use that for the whole entire year. And we know there are stars that can take that, run with it for a whole entire year and make it meaningful that builds up like a whole year to build this back up again. But nonetheless, um, I think we're good.
Yep.
But uh, that's going to wrap things up for this episode of The Finisher. Let us know, how do you feel about our finals coming up with John Cena and Hiroshi Tanahashi? Do you believe that it's time for WWE to change up this PLE structure? Let us know in the comments. Um, I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to think about because all of us consume wrestling. I don't want to say the same way, but there's similarities, there's differences in the way we enjoy stuff. I'm eager to hear what your thoughts are on changing up the PLE structure. Um, Outside of that, Marcus, anything else you got want to say to the people?
Nope. I'm good.
I dig it. In that case, let's go ahead and wrap things up. Um, This has been episode 29 of The Finisher. We appreciate however you guys are consuming this content, whether you're either watching on YouTube or listening to it on one of the streaming services. You be in the car and listening. Like sometimes you just gotta be able to listen to be able to consume. But we appreciate you nonetheless. LoadingSnacks.com is your place to go to be able to keep up with all of the Loading Snacks antics. We got a lot coming up over the next few weeks. But we got to go ahead and get out of here because there's other things we still got to do as well, too. From the Holy Marcus, this is your boy Jokes. Marcus, go ahead and let the folks know what they need to hear.
Sure. Just because your back is against the ropes doesn't mean you can't move forward. And with that, we're out. Tooters and loose.
Loading snacks.